Here are top 10 surprising facts about New York. Welcome to my channel. Number 10. Brooklyn was its own city. Today, it's just one of 5 boroughs that make up New York City. But did you know that Brooklyn was actually its own incorporated city from 1854 to 1950? It wasn't until this date that it merged with the rest of the boroughs. Brooklyn had its own mayor, its own government, and even its own baseball team. The Brooklyn baseball team. The world-famous Statue of Liberty located in New York Harbor was actually built in France. It was a gift to the United States from the French people to commemorate the alliance between the two countries during the American Revolution. Designed by French sculptor Frederick Auguste Bartholdi. The statue took 8 years to complete and was dedicated on October 28, 1886. Number 8. More than 50 million people visit the city each year. More than any other U.S. city. The Big Apple is the most visited city in the United States. In 2019, more than 65 million people visited the city, making it the most popular destination in the country. This is more than double the amount of visitors that go to the next closest city, which is Los Angeles, who gets around 25 million visitors each year. London is the only city in the world that receives more international visitors annually. No, 7. New York is home to the largest subway system in the world. The New York City subway is the busiest transit system in the entire world. Every single day, over 5 million people ride the subway. The subway has 472 stations and 110 miles of track. And if you want to ride all of it, it would take almost 3 minutes. The second busiest subway system in the world is Shanghai's metro system, which only does about half the amount of daily riders that New York does. Number 6. New York was once completely surrounded by farmland. Before the 19th century, Manhattan was entirely covered in farms. In fact, the first settlements in Manhattan were made up of Dutch farmers. These days, there are still some farms scattered around the outskirts of the city, but most have been replaced by residential homes and office buildings. One of the last remaining working farms in Manhattan is the Queens County Farm Museum. This 46-acre farm is located in the middle of the borough of Queens and has been in operation since 1644. No. 5. Broadway shows have a really high failure rate. Despite being the home of American theater, only about 10% of Broadway shows are still running after their first year. The high cost of putting on a show, combined with the intense competition for audiences, means that many productions close after just a few months. In fact, the average lifespan of a Broadway show is less than 2 years. Some shows, though, like the Phantom of the Opera in Chicago, have been running for decades. No. 4. Central Park isn't exactly in the center. Despite its name, Central Park is not actually located in the center of Manhattan. The park is situated in the heart of the Upper West Side and Upper East Side neighborhoods, and stretches from 59th Street to 110th Street. If you were to draw a line down the center of Manhattan, Central Park would be off to the east. However, when the park was designed in the mid-1800s, it was intended as a central green space for an otherwise densely populated city. At the time, the city's population was much smaller than it is today, and there were far fewer. As a result, the park seemed more central than it does now. No. 3. A one-bedroom apartment costs, on average, $3,000 per month. The cost of living in New York City is notoriously high, and this is especially true when it comes to rent. According to Zumper's 2022 rent report, the average cost of a one-bedroom apartment in Manhattan is $3,000 per month. This is up from $2,700 in 2021 and $2,200 in 2020. So, yeah, finding a place to live in New York can definitely put a dent in your wallet. On the bright side, if you're willing to move outside of the city, you can find much more affordable rent in places like the outer boroughs or Long Island. Number 2. New York has over 700 languages spoken in the city. With its large international population, it's no surprise that many different languages are spoken in New York City. In fact, it's estimated that over 700 languages are spoken here, more than in any other city in the world. Mandarin, Spanish, Cantonese and Korean are among the most commonly spoken languages.
No!
Times Square was not always filled with billboards. For many years, Times Square was a quiet neighborhood with small businesses and homes. The area was known as Longacre Square until 1904, when the New York Times moved its headquarters to the corner of 42nd Street and 8th Avenue. Soon after, the nearby railroad station was renamed to Times Square. In the following decades, Times Square began to attract more businesses and eventually became the bustling tourist destination we know today. Bonus fact: have you ever wondered what the name New York actually means? Well, it turns out that nobody really knows for sure. There are a lot of theories out there, but no one is 100% certain of the name's origin. One theory is that the name comes from a Dutch word meaning peaceful corner. Another theory suggests that it was named after a Scottish nobleman, James Douglas, the Earl of Home, also known as Lord New York. There is even a theory that the name was simply chosen to honor King Charles VIII of England. Unfortunately, we may never know the true origin of the name. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future videos. Thanks for watching.